to Jesus and find your grace. He is hope for the hopeless. Maybe I should shut up and listen. Oh. Welcome to my humble abode. The moment I stepped foot in this door, day one, even before renovating it the first time, I felt like this was a home for me and my kids. That I could settle. I don't care the price. I'm going to settle. There's investment. There's opportunity. Everything can build from this sanctuary. And it was happening. It was growing. God was giving me a place time after time with wonderful stepping stones and great hospitality and humble hearts. And I'm thankful for all those fellow Christians who have been there for me. Thank you. It was a tough 3 years. It still is. I ain't out the rock yet. Still living in the tomb. But I'm grateful for that. That my father was able to set me up and nurse me back to health. Still waiting for that sponge bath. Just kidding. You know who wrote the first 5 books? A man with a stick that looked like a snake. And this was a gift from a man named John. Right at the perfect moment in the accounts. I've been bouncing around this book every week with the sermons that are being discussed all over the nations. And living my own account physically in the reality of life. I come out the tomb soon. I think Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Supposedly tomorrow. We'll see who sees me. Typically my music's too loud in the background, or I'm just been boisterous and push people away and they unfollowed me. So it's just kind of the way the enemy wants to work. He wants to make sure that God cannot come back. Artificial intelligence. You guys about to shoot into outer space. We got a rocket coming down on top of us. And it's a game of Russian roulette. When's it gonna hit? I don't know. I don't watch the news and I didn't really care to turn it on. Sorry. I let God write his book. I was able to slow down so fast in time. The moment I dropped to that floor when I saw that taser. Oh, shoot. He ain't kidding. He ain't joking around. The henchman came banging on the walls, hyped up and excited after parking down the street, trying to sneak up on some dude. I get it, you gotta watch for your safety, but you don't go in like a hyped up football team on a Friday Night Lights. No way. To go after one of your own fellow brothers is just having a mental breakdown at the time. Because the shit around me is closing in. The shit around me that was driving me up a tree. And I said, nah, I don't want that. My kids love me. And I see them, and my son ran into my eyes. I see them. I miss my daughter so much. And I hate hearing it from Jeff sometimes. You think, you don't like your daughter because she looks like your ex-wife. And I go, I never once ever said that, first off. And second, I love my daughter just like I love my son. I love him equally, just like God loves him equally to the men. Came from our ribs, and my ribs killing me. Surgically removed and just ran away with it. Just ran away with it. Maybe to attach to another rib. She just wants to find herself. You let them go find themselves, but you gotta watch out for that evil side. There's that tasting of the apple. Picking from that forbidden fruit from the tree. That's a woman's sin. It's a scorned heart. is the alternative to it. There's a wrath to grace. And then the alternative to the scorned heart is a vengeful heart. Once a man plants a bad seed, just one word, that seed grows like a mustard seed, no different than a good seed. But you wait till the very end. You don't pick the weeds in the wheat before when you see them start to bud. Nope, you wait until they grow because you don't want to uproot the good weed. You don't want to make the good weed stand out and get hurt and injured and have to complain about it. Fight through the battle again. Oh, welcome to my tune with the new rock. Really, look at that. I got a tarp up over my bedroom. My living room, I mean. Temporary bedroom. Thankful, grateful to you, God. Thank you, Jim. You know, how do you say Jim in Spanish? Does it sound more like the J sounds like an H, right? So it's like him. Thank you, him. Look at that one. JC. There's my cornerstone. My rod and thy staff. And it's kind of funny how when I laid down the rest of the floor, that I got to that corner and I was actually forced by the shape of the room and the dimension to make a 9 3/4 by 11 3/4 inch block shape out of plywood on top of the new cornerstone. I'll send my application into the Freemasons later. Unless they want to just come find me. Gran Pupa. No disrespect. But I found a cornerstone. And I turned Satan's house into God's house. Some people know the story. I'd like to learn it. Because I am living the life in the moments. Welcome to my revelation. 1S. It's the Lord's faithfulness in your life. It definitely is. It's been working so hard on you for the past few years because everyone was persecuted at the same time. Look at the timeline. Now we're living a spiritual recovery, a revival. Back to a revolutionary period of time. I see you move. You've moved the mountains. Who wants to dance in the desert? Welcome to the wilderness. Oh, there's a cord in the way. I'm just going to knock my phone down. I'm on injury reserve. Now, I hurt myself. Welcome. New insulated outside exterior boxes. Electrical boxes, because it's a new code now. You have to have insulated ones. Why not? But whatever happened to just stuffing insulation around the box? You're concerned for fire risk. Well, isn't the insulation rated? And you can put firewall around it. Rock wool. You got to do it around certain areas. Yesterday was a dark day for me. It was a tough one, honestly. I woke up to a text message that just, whoa. Don't you ever just want to wake up to a good morning, not a, I told you, we're just friends. By the way, I'm getting a dog. I'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's fine. A dog is better than another man, but when there's a dog involved, other men come hounded. population today makes it difficult for men to hold on to the same woman who just wants to go find themselves. Because when finding themselves, sometimes that means promiscuous nights, intoxication. Woo! Party on, Garth. I don't know why I went on that tangent. I'm sorry I did. You know, God puts things on my heart to say, and that's just what I do. Just sign up for solar. Oh, shoot. I was going off on a good thing. See, ads become a distraction. It's good to know that, there's solar options out there. I like the idea of picking 4 or 5 different companies. Not 3, 4 or 5. 4 or 5 different companies, not 3. And get an estimate from each of them on what they can do for the options of being able to build homes with me, for veterans coming home who have nowhere to go, who are restarting their life and finding a way to adapt into society, and not to mention not only just veterans, but those in reciprocity, those who are in the system, that when they go on to rehab and a workforce and family mentoring, that they have somewhere else to go and they get out of there, out of being institutionalized, out of being in that setting. They need a home base. And I want to become someone in the group to bring a few together and create these things for these people. I love that people go and pass around socks and food and a whole host, meals and all that, but I want to do a little bit more. I've been yearning for a home, and why can't I know a lot of people have. And I don't mean a home where people can go do things that are unlawful, that they can just get in it. No, but you work on yourself. You have to work on yourself. And I'm not trying to create little dens. No, I'm trying to create hospitality. I'm trying to and do it on a penny's dollar. I don't want anyone having to, everyone's stressing and straining, and we're all in debt. I want to pay everyone's debts somehow. And that's by doing right, by giving the people that do work hard for themselves and they're having trouble struggling, they just want to come home to something, a home-cooked meal. That they can build relationships appropriately by having somewhere to be. Because when you're in the midst of a struggle, it's not easy to hold on to the ones you love when you're in the life raft. When you're out in the boat, you were once in this big ship, and then all of a sudden that ship sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and you're sitting in there, sitting on a dresser bureau, hanging on to dear life while you're freezing to death, afraid of the sharks circling. Imagine being in that situation in that moment. Well, the day your husband goes off to war, and you hold them for one last embrace, not really sure whether you're going to be able to catch that embrace again, or you're going to be embracing a different man when he comes home. Of course you will be. They'll be fine-tuned. They won't be nurtured, but they'll be matured. Hopefully. Some tailspin. They miss what they do in that setting because it's who they were born to be. They're warriors. Warriors. You have that in your soul, in your blood. It goes generation to generation. No different than if you're a family of farmers, or if you're a family of, a businessman. You're insured. I know someone with that same strength. But I'm the one who took our kids to doctor's appointments and emergency situations too. That was my strength. That was my character. That was my business. That's how I was able to bring calm to a storm. But when everything closes in on you, you try to point fingers in different directions. Am I not going to stand up for myself? Imagine miracles could happen. Got a lot of fight left. Gotta have a lot of fight left. And this is how I fight my battles. This is what I decided to do. I decided to take a video, diary, sermon, whatever I want to call it, wave my stick around, because that's what she said. You crazy? You in a box waving your stick around? I was like, the water tastes like crap. But we're paying for water? Why are we paying for water? Ah! You pass that water around like you had 5,000 fish. So you know what God said? I'm going to take all your water away. If you're going to charge people for water, I'm going to take all your water away. I gave you gifts to learn, to use as talents, to give back to each other. It's expensive to do all this stuff. Yeah, well, you're also killing the planet by producing too much of it. There's an abundance, overabundance amount of cars in the world. Just so you know. And they're just pumping them out like crazy because some of the last people to really understand the gospel are the ones that are pumping out so much smog and so much technology and so, you know, for America to be great. We are so behind in the times. I'm still living in a Puritan era. I'm in a house in 1850 and they're making brand new skyscrapers every 2 seconds. And they're going taller than us. Throwing rockets down in the sky on us. Not intentionally. Accidents happen. I hope. Don't you hit me. Round and round the merry-go-round, and one chase the weasel to help us. Whew. That ice cream tastes pretty good, and I'm in my own church. I'm under my light. I'm under Jesus, God of light, God of might, God, dancing in the desert. New rock, on the ark, in the ship, 120, 140 years old. 40 years in the desert, 40 days, right? Gave up quite a bit of stuff. She freaked out. Said, you're a new man. You're not even you anymore. You're not who I dated at first. And it's not even a negative thing. She said, you need a good Christian girl. I said, I'm just trying to make you a good Christian girl. I know you have good Christian girl qualities in you because your family rooted it into you. And yeah, you're just afraid to move forward in life and be a pastor's wife because you're afraid to follow through with your career in human services and mental health. And you think that I'm crazy. Well, you're sitting there saying, I fed you water from a well. I watched you die in persecution. In a courtroom. And you brought the Bible up to the stand. see you. I see where you are right in this very minute. Thank you, Father. You know what? I'll let y'all go. Ooh, wait. What we got? What we got? Hallelujah. In the presence of my enemies, I raise a hallelujah. Louder than the unbelief. We'll get into it, Joseph. Raise a hallelujah. Is a melody. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Oh, heaven comes to fight for me. Middle of the storm, louder and louder, you can hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. I want to belt it out. Hallelujah. Everything inside of me, I raise a hallelujah. Wow. Watch the darkness flee. Get out. Get out. Everyone knows everything about me. I raise a hallelujah. Lost a hold on me. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm, louder and louder, until you hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. Woo! Oh, feels so good. My heart beating strongly. Sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. Fish off the right side of the boat. praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, oh, the King is alive. In the middle of the storm, very loud, but hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. Oh, yes, he is. Oh, yes, he is. I raise a hallelujah. I raise a hallelujah. I raise a hallelujah. I raise a